Hello and welcome everyone. So I'm going to do a video here on why I personally can 100% cure HIV or anything on this planet. And before you end this video, please make sure you watch the whole entire video. There'll be some very important information that will show you step by step what to do and how the medical community started, because it is a very profitable business. That's why they claim everything can't be cured. You want to be part of the solution, not a part of the cause. This is all part of the cause. And with that said, I'm not telling everyone to ditch their drugs today and throw them in the trash and start cold turkey. You need to get the knowledge first, apply it, and then there'll be a point in time where you can start cutting things out. And I'll talk about that here more in a moment. But first things first, I've had very, very severe liver disease. I was sick every single month and sometimes twice a month. And this started in my late 20s. And you might be wondering, well, how does that happen? Well, I didn't take care of myself when I was younger, and it really hit me hard in my late 20s. And it just, my gums were diseased, my body was really destroyed, and it got worse when I got into my 30s. And now, thankfully, I'm really on the right path, and I'm going to show you how I did that, how I recovered from that, where I had yellow hands, yellow skin, yellow eyes, heart problems, edema, you name it, I've had it. Acid reflux so bad where I could eat a piece of broccoli and I had to stop. I couldn't eat for an hour because I had so much reflux coming up. So asthma and all that, all those symptoms were coming from my issues. So I've been at the bottom of the barrel, folks. And I'm going to show you more statistics about HIV so you can learn a little bit more about really what's going on with it, so you can get that understanding and you can move forward. Okay, so with that said, medication can only manage. It's not a cure. It's not a way to help. And the reason I'm using the word cure is because I'm talking about myself. If you want to be able to actually follow me and do what I can do, you need to be able to have the right knowledge and do this on your own, because only you can specifically get rid of an issue or quote-unquote cure it yourself. I can't do that for you. No one can. It's impossible. Impossible. Okay, and I'll talk more about that here in a moment. So with that said, in the AIDS epidemic, what killed most of the people was AZT drug in the 80s. That's why almost, they say, such a broad number, 59.9 million to 100 million have become infected since the start of the epidemic, and just under 50 million people have died from the AIDS-related epidemic. But what's really astonishing is just under 44 million people globally are living with HIV, and 22.6 million people were only getting the antiretroviral drugs. So only half are using the drugs, but at the high end, only 1.3 million people died from the illnesses in 2017. It doesn't make a lot of sense when everyone's not on these drugs, and everyone's claiming you're going to die without them, which is completely false. And again, I'm not telling people to ditch them right away without having the right knowledge. You need to move forward and learn. And once you have the knowledge and you understand it, it's going to be a lot easier. This is how I've learned. I learned by doing it. I've had this channel, started putting out videos since 2013, so, I know a thing or two, folks. Alright, so again, only 1.3 million people have died, and half of them are using the drugs. Okay, so you might be wondering, alright, but these drugs are great. Well, they also cost a lot of money, because again, Western medicine is the most profitable business in the world. One of them, at least. It's the biggest business out there. It's a business, folks. It's not there for your health. It's not there for your well-being. It's there for money. That's how they run the operation. That's why the drugs in the ART era, not AZT, were about 20,000. And now there were 23,000 in 2010. In 2006, they were 19 and some change, almost 20. So they've went up. the lifetime about 367, depending on how long you live. Alright, so now that you know the cost, let's take a look at a little bit more about the system. This video is very, very important. Please continue to watch this. You need to understand this. This video is under 9,000 views. I don't make money on views, folks. I've made not a penny on views on this channel. And I did this back in 2015. But what is really troubling is this video. I was allowed to use these clips that I'm going to take this from. This main video has been deleted twice. It got a lot of views and it's gone magically because it's telling you very important information about how Western medicine started and how they skewed the whole thing in the drug, and now they've been doing it ever since then. The Rockefellers and the Carnegies started that, so I'm going to kind of go past that point and listen to this gentleman speak. It's going to be about a minute long. This way it kind of saves you guys time. I'll leave the link below this video and anything else, but this way you can hear it.
Tremendous amounts of money to the schools that would agree to cooperate with them. The donor said to the schools, we're giving you all this money. Now, would it be too much to ask if we could put some of our people on your board of directors to see that our money is being spent wisely? Almost overnight, all of the major universities received large grants from these sources and also accepted 1, 2, or 3 of these people that I mentioned on their board of directors, and the schools literally were taken over by the financial interests that put up the money. Now, what happened as a result of that is that the schools did receive an infusion of money. They were able to build new buildings. They were able to add expensive equipment to their laboratories. They were able to hire top-notch teachers. But at the same time as doing that, they skewed the whole thing in the direction of pharmaceutical drugs.
There we go, folks. They skewed the whole thing in the pharmaceutical drugs. So again, that's why everyone gets prescribed drugs and there's no cure. So why can I cure for myself anything on this planet? It's this: oxygen radical absorbance capacity. And if you're not familiar with turmeric, it's just one of the spices out there. There's other herbs. Dried are 3 times more powerful. This one right now has 127,000 and some change per 100 grams. That's the oxygen radical absorbance capacity. You might be wondering, what the heck is that? That's how scientists measure the antioxidant capacity and basically what it can do. And there's many things that have an ORAC level, and I'm going to get into that right now. There's goji berries, and I do this daily. Goji berries have 4,300, but they also have a lot of nutrients, amino acids, things the body needs. Okay, so you want to stay away from dried fruits. Just because dried herbs are very powerful, 3 times more, dried fruits are not. You want fresh. You want it intact, the way nature intended. Okay, so other things have different ORAC scores, but they all combine together, and then you're throwing in these powerful spices, and I do 15 or 20 a day now, and I just dump a bunch of them on there and ease your way in. But that's what I do. 15, 20 different herbs and spices I've gotten up to today, and I'll be doing more videos on that in the future. But cranberries, you want to avoid dried. It doesn't matter if they're hybrid fruits. You just want to avoid the genetically modified. There's a big difference between GMO, which is corn, and that's a grain anyway. Avoid all grains. You want to avoid the meat. You can use meat for the first 30 days and ease into it. I use avocados. I use about 3 avocados a day. You can do other herbs such as oregano oil. That's also a powerful spice, and that's just another added bonus. There's carnivora, that's another herb. Again, I'll leave all these links below it and some of the other videos I've done, because you really want to detox this virus out. It's not something that can really be killed, and I've learned this over the years. So what do I eat? Well, I use a whole huge bowl. There's the goji berries. I soak them in warm water. They plump up. They're great. They're very nutritious. This is some wakame seaweed, gives you a lot of iodine. I'm using basil. It's all fresh. I also use the dried basil now, but fresh basil gives me some more nutrients, but I use a lot of the dried. You could use fresh herbs such as mint, dill, things like that, But you definitely want to get into those dried as well, because they're 3 times more powerful. So it's going to cost you a lot more money to use the fresh, but you want to use some fresh to give you those nutrients. Dates are very good because they're full of potassium. They've got a lot of nutrients. Again, I mentioned the avocados. You can use pretty much raisins are okay. A few raisins isn't going to harm you. Look for organic. And again, using those herbs such as oregano oil, and it's also known as a powerful spice. You can go to shop.destroydiseases.com. This is just a recommendation. There's also olive leaf extract. All of that can help in conjunction with using a proper raw food, living food diet, intermittent fasting. I personally consume 1 large bowl and do this only once a day, and I'm fine, folks. I'm not losing a ton of weight. You will balance out in the beginning, but again, I'm not telling you to knock off your drugs, cold turkey. Work off some of the foods that you're trying to get rid of, such as meat. And there is a time and a place to eat meat. You don't have to be a vegan or vegetarian. I'm not. But when you're detoxing, I'll leave this link below the video. You want to avoid those cooked foods, and you want to avoid the grains, and you want to stick with fruits and enhance the process, and all of that's going to help you. Any questions, go ahead and let me know. But take these tips, keep moving forward. And if you want to be like me and be able to get rid of anything, you got to have the knowledge and apply it. And you got to make the proper adjustments. Put in the foods and have it all work for you. Thank you so much, folks. Bye-bye.